So I was thinking about how we can make some improvements to this group, and so what I thought about was I know we go through the kind of the standard stuff. I do a lot of talking, and you know we have some level of participation, but I think we need to switch it up a little bit. So what I thought about was using what we're going to do is this. Let me open up this tab. So I was looking around last night and I found basically this sheet that we're going to be able to actually open up some positions. So can you all see my screen here? I should have a. All right, here we go. So on here's this is on my phone here, and so what this is a trading account. It's a paper trade account. So what we want to do is for each person to pick one stock that they want to have, and we usually have anywhere from say 10 to 20 people. So this account has it's $100,000 fictitious account. But what we're going to do is have each person pick a stock, and we're going to go through the process of you pick your stock, you provide the analysis, and the things that we talk about, support and resistance, trends, and all of that. We're going to apply these, but we're going to track it with your stock, and then we're going to do order entries and all of that. And I think that that's going to kind of help solidify some of our learnings and get us more engaged. What do y'all think about that?
It's a good idea, Mike. But for us rookies, man, I don't even know where to start. But
Oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But so the thing I would say is we'll just pick a stock for something that right?
Okay.
A company that you're familiar with, a product that you use, a service that you use, and we'll go from there. So
Okay.
it's not so much of the stock that we pick, but what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to, number one, have you have a stock that you're following, but then two, you're going to walk us through, the process, and on here, it'll get us through the specifics of, hey, how are we using our charts, what decisions that we're going to make in terms of when we should buy, when we should sell, and we'll be able to track performance in here using this spreadsheet. So I think it's going to be a good thing to tie a lot of the concepts and things that we have talked about, as well as get some of the engagement, and then we can see some of the performance of these positions, and it'll be something that you've chosen. So let me do this. Let me see who all we got on. So get all the names in. So we got Nessa. Let me try to do alphabetical. Brenda. Chris. Kyle. Kyle. Sharif. Julius Sharif. Come on, don't freeze up, computer. Sharif, and we'll add the other ones as they come in. All right. Did I miss anybody? Vanessa, Brenda, Julius. Who did I miss? Look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I don't know. If I missed it, I'll add Vanessa at the end. Okay. All right. So cool. All right. Brenda, start with you. Give me a stock.
Man, you're killing me for early in the morning thinking. You know that, right?
Hey. Chop chop.
Let me think.
Something that you own. It's probably if you own something already. Let's pick something that you own because that's gonna help. And we'll go from there.
All right, then let's do let's do Facebook then, because I still held him. I didn't bail on him on the earnings, even though I could have dumped him like the day before earnings came out. Except earnings day, he got a lot of some upgrades, even though he dove after the earnings, which people taking profits. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do going forward.
Okay, that works. Curtis, any company?
Hey, suggestion, Mike.
Yes, ma'am.
I think. What do you think if we also pick things in different industries, right? So even whether or not somebody owns it or not, it'd be interesting to me to start figuring out what different industries are doing throughout as well. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. So let's see what we have, and then if we have to switch some up to go across those industries, we'll do that. Okay. Pick one for Curtis, Brenda.
Give me one in the farming industry. You know what I mean?
Let's see, Deere. What's anybody know Deere's
about
ticker?
Caterpillar?
Oh, Caterpillar. Cat.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Kyle.
Give me Neo.
All right, Julius. Is it
NIO?
All right, got it.
You got it. Cool.
Okay, Julius.
Alphabet.
Is that Goog? Is it G-O-O-G or G-O-O-L? I mean G-O-O-G-L. Because I know it's two of them.
No, you good right there.
It's Goog. Okay.
That's it.
All right, Sharif.
Give me Magnite. MGNI.
All right. Siri, come on. Siri.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
With stock, did you hear what I was saying in terms of picking a stock that you want to track? So we're going to put it in a portfolio. So do you have a stock that you want to put in here?
I want to know about Charge Point.
Say it again.
Charge Point.
What's the ticker?
CHAPT.
CHAP. I'm not familiar with that. Is that it?
CHPT.
Oh,
Yeah.
CHPT.
CHPT, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, Vanessa.
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. All right. Let's see. Did we get everybody? Did I miss anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So what we're going to do, we'll do a $5,000 portfolio. Because as we get other people in, so you have, $5,000 to play with, because it's $100,000 portfolio in here. But I know if we get more than 10, and I know we have a few people that's not on today, I want to be able to have enough so they can track. So let's start here. Let's go back to the chart. So we start with Facebook. All right. So look at Facebook. All right. Brenda, Facebook is trading at 356. Now, what we can do is we can put in all the prices as of today and then start following them from that point. Now, one thing we can say, you have 5K and you can specify how many shares you want to buy of that or not. So you can use all the 5K or you can use some in cash. So and the reason why I think we just need to put some in to get started because even though, hey, like, so looking at Facebook here, right? We're above the resistance line here, and I'm sorry, below the resistance line of the 370, but above the support level of 344. And and if I extend this trend line, we're below the trend. But if we were waiting for the perfect entry at this point, just in terms of chart, then we wouldn't have anything kind of to start with. So given that, do you want to use the entire $5,000, or would you rather use just a portion of it? So if we did a portion, okay, so we say
yeah, because I want to see
356.
what it's going to do next couple of days.
All right, so that'd be 14 shares. We'll put you right at the 5,000. So you want to do half?
Sure.
Seven shares. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we do, what's it? So 356.30. 356.30. Oh, duh, had it right there. And somebody, what's the day? Is it day August? July 31st. 31st. Okay, thank you. All right. So, all right. Okay. Curtis. All or a portion?
I'd say all.
Okay. All right, 24. Okay.
Mike, going forward, are we able to change the stock we're following? Or
yeah, so you can. Good point. So what we'll be able to do going forward is, if you want to sell your position, then we're going to track the performance. So here, there's a closing trades portion here. So we'll specify the closing trade, and then we'll be able to put in our cost basis in terms of where we bought at and what we sold at, and see what our performance is. And then also what we're going to do, we're going to enter these over into the here. We're going to actually enter orders into the trading account, so we can I'm clicking on it, like it's going to come up. We're going to put it in the trading account. So let's say, for instance, Facebook, right? And so we'll enter this order in. Let's say buy. So for Brenda, it'll be buy 7 shares. Okay. Well, I'm gonna come back to that. Let's get the numbers in, because the second part is I'm gonna have you all talk me through entering these orders in, and what this is gonna do is gonna get us kind of going the full gamut. We'll have the stock. We can look at the charts. Initially, it's gonna be a little funky, because we just putting in the initial trades and not using the support resistance. But once we have everything, and then subsequent weeks, we can go through and make decisions upon, do we want to add more? Do we want to sell? Do we want to buy something else? But at least this is just going to get us a starting point. Is that fair?
okay.
All right, cool. So you said all on yours, Curtis. So, sorry, I did it, but I didn't.
Hey, Mike, before you get started, I don't want to mess you up, but I want to change. I want to follow something in the solar industry.
Okay.
So can we look up the stock for Sun Power? I just did a search on it.
Okay. Yeah, just if somebody can tell me what that ticker is, and
That's
we'll
what I'm
change it.
looking for.
Yeah.
It's called Sun Power,
Yeah, I don't know if it.
and I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Find that, and then we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Kyle, do you want to use all or a portion?
No, give me 50 shares.
50?
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. So we say 5,000. And what's that price? 44. 44.68.
SPWR for Sun Power.
Okay. So 111. You say you only want 50 shares? All right. Got it. SPWR.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right. And how many, Curtis?
Yeah, all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's 5K by what is that? E. Okay.
Also for
200.
I'm sorry, for the first for Facebook, we still have her at 100, I think.
Oh, the lot size. Oh, good call.
I think she has 7.
7. Thank you. Good catch. Thank you. All right, Neo Kyle. Oh, you said 50 on yours. Google Julius. How many? You want to use all of your position or only a portion? But shucks, it's gonna have to be close to. Now, in this case, since this is such a expensive stock, if we did one, it would be, you know what, we can do the fractional shares. So if you want to do it all, it would be 1.8. But if you didn't want to use all the 5,000, then it's going to either be 1 or 2, or if we do the fraction, it'll be 1.8, 4. So, what do you want to do there?
You can do a fraction of it.
Okay, just the fraction. So you want to do half? So we say half. You know what?
Half is fine.
You know what? Let's do 1. We'll do 1 share, and then that'll leave you with a little bit less than about $1,200, a little bit less than $1,300. All right.
On the ticker, it should be an L at the end of the G, behind the G.
Thank you, sir. All right. Magnite, Sharif.
I'm actually driving, so y'all gonna have to help me out a little bit with this one. But I don't want to do all. I'll say half.
All right.
When we doing this, are we thinking about long term, or are we thinking about day and swing trading?
It's up to you. So the thing is, we meet once a week. So if you want to trade, then we'll enter the trades in. Now we'll put the trades in. Since the market is closed, we won't get the real time entries. So what we can do, we're going to put the entries in now, and then when they actually fill, we'll put them in as market orders. When they actually fill, then we can come back and adjust the lot size. And then say next week you come back and you say, you know what, this is at a point where I want to buy or sell. We'll buy and sell it, and then you can pick something new at that point.
Okay.
All right. So all or a portion.
Since we can buy and sell, I'm gonna go ahead and go all.
Okay. So 165. All right.
For information's sake, what is that guy?
MGNI. Go ahead, Sharif. What is that?
50 shares.
It's a ad tech. So with all the streaming services, in order for them to show ads, they have technology that they've built in order to display ads, sell ads, get the best price for the customers. So like if you have a YouTube TV, Disney Plus, all of those different streaming services, they show ads just like you would if you had regular TV or cable, right? But this is a company that is a marketplace, and they assist the buying and selling of advertisement on the network, and they charge for these different types. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Siri, do you want to use all of the 5,000 or a portion for this one?
50.
50.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And this one too. What is this?
Yeah, Siri, you want to explain what that one is?
It's about the electric cars, like charging electric cars. Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Charging technology for electric cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Then NVIDIA is the chip stocks. They make graphic cards and all of that. How many you want to use, Vanessa?
I want to buy 20 shares.
20? All right. Thank you. Okay, now let's go through each of these. All right. So let's look at the charts and then we'll go back and we'll put the orders in. All right. So we looked at the Facebook. We know where we are here, the 356.30. Let's go SPWR. All right. Sun Power. Let's see. Okay. All right. Somebody help Curtis out. All right. This is a chart of SP. WR. What are some of the first things we do when we come to a chart and we don't see any lines on it? What do we do? Somebody let's walk them through it. And all I'm gonna do is just draw the line. So y'all gonna have to teach this.
Yeah.
Somebody help Curtis out.
First of all, what am I looking at, Mike? I don't.
Oh yeah. And I'll explain it. But the people that's on, they know what they supposed to tell me, and all I'm gonna do. So they're gonna talk you through it, Curtis.
Okay.
All right.
You said your resistance and support lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Let's go. Give me some points, and I'm gonna draw.
Okay, I can't hardly see the chart, but anyway, the highest point of the chart would be your resistance.
All right. So I'll draw one there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Keep going.
I would say the support. The next line I would go down would be like 32?
2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go back up. I'm sorry. I see 2 points there, right there. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The next line down that I see is there.
Okay.
Right. Support about 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, why did you all choose the areas that you all chose? So Curtis, he's not seeing, if he's looking, it's like, okay, yeah, y'all specified these points, but why did you all choose those points? Help him out.
You have multiple points multiple times where it hit that level.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you can see that it hit there twice, hit here 6 or 7 times, once there. You can see here. Now, in terms of the way we teach it, what's one of the things that we look for to make it make it simple? It's really just 2 terms that we talk about. We look for something and we look for something else. I say it all the time.
I can say resistance and support. Maybe that's not it.
No, it says No, yeah, you're right. But to make it simple,
highs and lows.
Yep, highs and lows, or peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys. Okay.
Right. So let's do this away, and just bear with me a second. Let me kill those lines. There we go. So let's look for peaks and valleys. So what we do here, Curtis, if you just take that's a peak.
Right.
That's a peak.
Right.
Those are kind of like a peak. That's a peak. That's a peak. So you look at your tops, and then you also look at your bottoms. That's a bottom. That's a bottom. That's a bottom. Do you see the valleys and then the peaks? And then I can also draw the peaks here now. All right. So now at this point, all you do is connect them. Now, if you have 2 peaks or 2 valleys very close to each other, you can split the difference between the 2. So now if I draw this just based upon that, just go back to it. So this should coincide with what they chose, right? Or very close. Now, if it's not, 100% exact, that's fine, but it helps to illustrate the point, right?
Okay, Mike, let me interject real quick.
Yes,
this is how I'm looking at this, being from as a rookie standpoint. What do I need to determine if this is a good buy or not at today's current price?
All right, somebody help him out answer that. Looking based upon what we just showed here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. I see folks are on the phone. Okay. All right. Somebody answer that question. Come on, guys.
Usually I look at the 52-week high
All right.
to see how much room it can grow.
Okay. He looks at the 52-week high. If you're trading based upon support and resistance, what would you tell him based upon what we just drew?
Well, the entry is very important.
Okay.
It's not a bad entry point. It's not a bad entry to get in now.
Now, what is the actual entry point right now?
So to answer, I'm gonna give somebody else another chance to kind of, because I don't want to answer it because I want you all to answer it. Because the thing is, when you start teaching this stuff and being able to explain it to somebody else, it solidifies your learnings.
Right.
So I want somebody else to answer. I mean, I know the answer, but I want somebody else to answer as it relates specifically to support and resistance.
Where you want that stock to bounce off of support if you're buying it, and you want to make sure it's on an upward trend.
Okay.
So it's kind of an upward trend, and it's bouncing off support.
All right. So
and you got room to grow.
Okay. So Kyle, I'm gonna help Curtis out. What's the trend? You just use the term trend. What's the trend?
Is that movement up or down?
Yeah, it's movement up or down, but it's so somebody else wanna say kind of what a trend is, or and it could be a layman's definition. It doesn't have to be very technical. Again, I'm just trying to get you all to, each one teach one. So what
I'm trying to look at it as in which direction those highs and lows are going. So for example, to me, those highs are going like down from that top.
High. Right.
Exactly. So to me, that right there is trending down. Right. But then I'm questioning which way is it going to go now. So it was doing a downward trend, and but now it seems to have, it's undecided is how I would look at it, because it hit that line right there, and it seems to have started bouncing there. And so I'm unsure about whether or not it's going to then go down below that little support, that blue line, and keep going down, or if it's now deciding to go back up.
Okay. Makes
Very
sense.
good.
Makes sense.
Very good, Bray.
Okay,
So
you kind of let me add something. You kind of have a triple bottom effect right there too at that support.
Okay.
So
then
that's
for me,
the indication that is that it,
bottom.
Yeah, that's a nice bottom. If it hit that price 3 times.
Right.
All right. So in terms of where this is, tell me where the support and resistance is relative to its current price.
I would say it's close to its resistance. It has another resistance point around 24.77.
Okay. Now, would you, based upon the touch points, Vanessa, would you say that resistance at the 24.77 is that the strongest resistance that you see based upon what we drew, or is there another resistance area?
Another resistance. But I would say it's another resistance area because I'm seeing the 2 right where you are, and then I see another one all the way far to the left, where it's kind of meeting as well. So that'd be 3 points for that one. All
right. So what Vanessa's saying is she would draw this one here.
Okay.
Right?
Well, a little bit further down.
A little further down. All right.
Yeah.
So let me move it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me when to stop.
Keep going. Give it stop.
Okay. Now, so her decision is based on this bottom, and then this area of that bottom, right? Which becomes part of this top, right? So I can go with that. I can go with that.
Okay.
So
what's that telling me?
All right. So where you currently are. All right. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so where you currently are, the price is you're right at this support level. So let me erase this one so I can talk to this piece specifically. All right. So if let's say you're right here, the line above you is going to be resistance. The line below you is going to be support.
Okay.
Right. But since Vanessa, she wanted this 2477 on there based at that. So you're right at the if in technically, since the bar is above the blue, this blue bar here then becomes support. Whereas if you're under it, so if I moved it up, then it would be technically resistance. So depending upon where the current price is, the line above it will be resistance. The line up below it will be support. So in this case, if I go back to 2470, we'll split it to say 72. So we just right here at resistance or support. So it's so close it can be either way. So if it say tomorrow it trades or Monday, if it's above, then this will become support. That will be your resistance line. If it goes below, then this will become your resistance line and that'll become your support. Okay. So, but for this, I'm gonna erase this line for the sake of making the discussion a little bit easier because the lines are farther away and we can see a little bit better. So if given that, looking at this, we remove that line. And again, I'm just doing it for the sake of this part of the discussion. What would you tell Curtis now in terms of, because his general question was based upon where it's trading, what should I do with this if we're looking at support and resistance?
Right.
Somebody answer that for
him. I would say watch it a couple of days.
Okay, and give me and why?
Because you're at the point where you don't know whether it's going to go up or down.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Okay.
All right. And so what she's saying, you're in the middle of this support and resistance. So it's kind of in no man's land. Now, to the point that she made, let's draw this back. Now, what's your answer now, Vanessa?
I would say the same.
You'll still say the same.
Yeah.
All right. But would you, okay, so if you say it's the same, but this is an area.
Okay. Again,
looking back and we saw that that's a bottom, that's a bottom, that's a bottom. So if this serves as resistance, I'm gonna just move it up just a little bit more just for the sake of this. All right. So if we're saying, hey, if that's truly resistance because it has prior points, then what would you say now? Would your answer change?
Resistance.
Or anybody else, y'all jump in. Yeah. So guys, this is not exact science. All of this is to help us with probabilities. So the lines on the chart. So let's just break it down to its essence. All these lines represents is just activity in the market for this particular stock. So the red bars just show that, hey, you had selling pressure, so the stock went down. These are actual trades that people in the market have made. People, companies, whoever, market participants, they have made. Whereas the green says there's upward pressure for buying, so therefore it went up. Given that, all these support and resistance lines is to help us with probabilities to see what has it done in the past, and is that a predictor of the future based upon these support and resistance lines, based upon these red trend lines. And so the question is, based upon what I see, do I have a higher probability of going higher from here? Or do I have a higher probability of going lower from here based upon what I already know about this stock, just looking at the historical past?
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
So you're just trying to make a guess. Do you think it's going to go higher given what you've seen before? So is there going to be a reversal here and you bounce off of this 2496 or whatever this is right here, that 2503, and do you go back down to the 128? Or do you believe there's enough momentum in here to go higher? Now, given that, one thing that we don't talk a lot about, but you always want to pay attention to. So you can see here. So let's just draw it corresponding. So we know that this area we had that. So this is the actual price of the 21.28. Here on down at the bottom, we're showing the actual volume. So if I just come straight down, these are the volume areas. So what I want to do is say, okay, what is the volume in this area? And what is the volume in this area? What I want to show there is, are you seeing extreme volume that corresponds with these bottoms? And in this case, there was more volume here in this area when it got there. There's less volume as it compared to that previous portion, but at the same price point, there's a little bit more right here, but overall it's less than what was in this area. And then again, here is less here. So do you see more people buying and selling at a larger degree at these 3 points? Based upon the volume area, you're getting actually less volume. So if I draw a trend line just on the volume piece, it would be this. See that? So the volume is actually going down as it corresponds to these same support points.
Is that good or bad?
It's not necessarily good or bad, but does it give you more information?
Okay.
Right? Okay. So what I would say here, so let me answer that. Just going back to this piece. Look at this part right here. That volume peaked right here on this particular bar. At that point, I would have said, there's a lot of buyers on that bar. But when you look at the price, what it did, it went up 2 more days and then it reversed down. And then you had still a decent level of volume on this day. But if you combine both of those volumes in this day, what this show you that buyers like this 21.19, they even liked it better at 20 because the volume said that more people bought because you got green bars down here at the volume and they're longer than the ones that are surrounding it.
Okay.
Does it make sense? So that confirms the bounce.
Gotcha.
All right. So given where we are today, do we think that there's enough pressure in here for this to continue to go up or down? So let's just look at let's answer the question just by looking at the data, right? When it was here before, what happened? It sat around here for like a week and then it bounced higher. When it got here before, it was higher. It got back here, it bounced and then it went up. It got back here to this point. There was enough selling pressure. It broke down through and it got to this lower level. It got back to this area again. There was enough buying pressure. It went higher. Got back down here. There was enough selling pressure. It went low, returned down to this 21. Now we're back here again. So just given based upon that, down, up, down, up, down. So you got 3 downs, 2 ups. So you had about a 50%, little bit more than 50%. You know, if you look at percentage, I guess that'd be 60%, 7% down, what 33 up. So the pressure is, if you just look at strictly mathematical, you got 3 ups and 2 downs. So the probability is that it's going to come back down. Right. But that's just, but again, if you have a feeling that you're in the middle here, you'll say, so if you just take the 3 ups and 2 downs, you say, you know what, that's probably too tight. So I'm going to wait. So what I would do in this case is, if you're not sure there, just delete this. Now, does it make it clear for you? What I would say is, see if you could wait till you get back down to this 22, anywhere from that 22 area, back down to that 21 and look for a bounce. Or if it continues to rise, then you may look to take profit here at this 30 if you're trading it. Now, that's a whole nother thing. Right. Between trading and investing, if you're investing, you'll just say, hey, I want to add more shares down at the support level. All right. Whereas if in long term, if it was back up here, you may say, hey, it's getting up to a prior point that has rejected 1, 2, 3 different times. I might not want to be a buyer here. I just may want to be a holder. Okay. So that's the piece. So that's strictly support and resistance. Now, when you look at trend lines, The trend line says to what Brenda said starting out was this was trending down. It broke that trend here. And when it broke the trend, meaning that all of this stuff from January all the way down to June, you had a single day until you got right here until May 28th that it got higher than that trend. It kind of went sideways and then that trend kind of stopped. Here is when you really had your first close above this little congestion here. You make that a little bit bigger. I know into the details, so make a little bit bigger to talk through. So this is where you really got your first close above that trend. Now you can say, hey, that's the bottom. That's the bottom. All you need is 2 points. So when you're drawing trend lines, I'm drawing them two ways. If you draw on a top trend line going down, you're going to take a 1 point here and another point on the chart, and you draw a descending trend line, and you draw from the top. When you draw an ascending trend line, you take a point at 2 points from the bottom, and then you just extend the slope and just keep the angle the same, right? And with that though, so this is one area here where you say, okay, that trend is now broken. We can go here and establish a new trend based upon bottom of that candlestick, bottom of this candlestick, and just extend the trend. Now we see we're in another trend up. It hits our 2 points here. It reversed. Then we started a new trend down, right? So from a trend perspective, we can say that, we've come down, we've broken that bottom trend, but look here, we got closed above that trend line. So now really we're going sideways. So if you look here and just draw a box, we're really trading in a range from 22 to 25, meaning look, so here, down here. So we're in the second version of that small little uptrend, but you're still in this range from 22.30 to 25.
Okay.
So when you look at all that, now you just have to make a determination. Do you buy more here, or do you sell, or do you stay put? Sometimes staying put is not even sometimes. Staying put is a decision in some cases just as much as buying or selling. Sometimes you just have to be patient and wait for the stock to come to you. Okay. But there are cases where you can be patient waiting for you to come. So let's say if you say in your mind, okay, Kyle said we had a triple bottom here. So triple bottom. So triple bottom mean 1, 2, 3 on a support area. That's what a triple bottom means. And that's a chart pattern. If you say, hey, I'm waiting for another touch to that bottom, then I'll buy. But so say you're going to be patient, wait for a comeback to anywhere from 22.47 down to the 21.28. But if it doesn't, then you could miss out on that, and it may just be enough momentum to go higher. Right. So just because you draw your points on the chart doesn't mean that it's automatically going to go there. And if it goes opposite to what you're thinking, then you just got a new decision point to make once it's higher.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Right now, I say buy.
Okay. Right. So going back to here, so since we chose why is that? Didn't recalculate. Hold on, let me see something. Oh, that's my bad. Sorry about that. 201. No, that was me. I messed up. All right. Okay. All right. I don't know. Was it entry price of 20? Oh, it should be 201. Oh, I put it in the wrong thing. Sorry. I was like, that looks wrong. Okay. I was putting the wrong thing in there. Okay, so this is the number of shares that you're going to buy, and we're going to put the orders in. All right. Let's go to Neo. All right. Kyle. All right. And I'll put in Mio. That's not right. Neo. Okay.
Yeah, don't mess my stuff up.
Hey, man.
Come on, don't mess my stuff up.
Right. So talk to me about this chart, Kyle.
Neo looks good. Neo's been down. I've actually been in Neo for a minute, and it's actually trying to make a little comeback. So But now, if I had to buy some more shares, I would buy some more shares right now because it's it hit a support about 41, and I see the upward trend. So it's on its way back up.
So Colin's saying that. So all I was doing as he was talking, I was just drawing. You can see this range in this big purple box here. If we wanted to draw the trends here, you can have a trend here. Again, all you need is 1 point on the chart. So I'll take
info, that. Neo is what?
Kyle?
Electric cars.
Okay.
China.
All right. So you can see here, it broke that trend. Got a small trend up here. It broke that trend again, came back down. So we got the zigzag up and down. Now you can see here. So even if we remove the, sorry, didn't mean to do that. No, that's my fault. I'm trying to erase that. Yeah.
I actually just looked at my account. I'm actually up about 50 cents.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I'm actually in profit mode. This thing was up, then it came down, was right about where I bought it, like about 44, 49, something like that. So it's a little above that right now. So
okay.
So a general question to all of you guys: how much do you guys beyond the chart rely on like what's going out in the world? So like if you guys are in electric cars, do you pay attention to like the news on what's going on or the infrastructure bill and that kind of thing when you're making your decisions?
Absolutely.
Good question.
Absolutely.
Question.
And so you're interested in electric cars because?
Well, it's popular. When I bought it, it was popular. You have to have some type of competitor to Tesla. Tesla can't dominate forever, but there's other competitors out there. Other people trying to jump on the electric car bandwagon. Electric cars are here to stay. So just try to find something that was decent. So I had to look at the charts. So Neo's been doing pretty good. You just got to pay attention to certain sectors. Then if you see some news on a certain stock or something, you put it in your watch list and research it. Go from there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
thanks, gotta research everything.
So let's on to Goog. Julius, look like you caught a rocket ship here. I don't know how long you've been in Google, but Google has been performing phenomenally since October. Well, shucks, even before October. So we go take this and see this trend. Google is bouncing off this trend upward. So bounce. So you got to bounce here. Got a touch here. Got another touch here. Almost touched there, but touched it right here. But it's obeying that trend line tremendously up. This is I don't know how long you've been in it, Julius, but this is pretty phenomenal. So given so looking at where Google has been versus where it is now, what do you do with this, Julius? Do you continue to hold, or do you continue to buy, or what? How are you playing this?
Continue to buy.
Continue to buy. Okay. All right. And is that based on the chart, or is that just based on your conviction, what the company is doing? What's your reason for continuing to buy when you're literally on from you're literally at 95% since September of last year? Oh, no, that's even more than that. September 20. Yep. So coming up on a year and you got a 95% return. Do you think that this is going to continue, or you think you're going to get a pullback at some point?
I think it will continue just a little bit longer.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So that's Google. Hey, if you was in that, you'd be
what
pretty
you
happy.
think?
Oh no, it's This is a phenomenal chart. So all I could do is go back and say, okay, hey. So let's give it some historical precedence. Yeah. This is a crazy chart. Really? Google went through a trading pattern from, I guess, 2018 to 20. But now you can just see it's been rocket shipping up right from there. So it's really, I could draw this trend. I can extend this trend from here, actually here. But okay, let's look at this because this is a good piece. Look at what we're seeing, and this is on a weekly chart, by the way, since it got so much positive pressure. But look at what we're seeing here. What is that telling us, guys? What is this showing us? Just based upon what we've just talked about this morning, what did that show us?
Strong support.
Absolutely.
What?
This 1037 down to, I guess even technically, that $1,000 level was golden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that range from here to here, it touched it 11 different times. And this is on a weekly chart. So these are weekly touches. It's not even daily touches, right? And this last touch, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a first bottom, second bottom, triple bottom, quadruple bottom. And then from there, it just ran phenomenally. So when you see these patterns like that and you see this stuff before and it shows you that was an awesome trade. But you had years of consolidation in this range from that 10,011 up to this 1263. So you were only getting, you stayed in a range of about 20% for a couple years, but then it kept going. So for you long-term holders out there, when you see stuff like this, buy point, then you'll get rewarded if it has this. Now, that's just what Google did. There's no guarantee that you see another chart pattern like this and you're going to get this huge run off of the end, because sometimes you can get another fifth touch and then you get a rejection below. But this is a strong pattern and it went the right way. So if you've been in this for a while, Julius, I know you're pretty happy on that one. So that's Google. All right, let's Magnite, MG and I. Sharif, are you at a point where you can talk? All right, Sharif may be gone. All right, I play with this stock, so I know a little bit about it. But let's just see what the chart is telling us. All right, so kind of in the middle, you're in a downtrend from here. We're in this range. Really, we're in this range from 24 to what's that, 31, and so that was on a daily. I mean, that was on a weekly. Here's a daily. It still obeys it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to use the wrong thing. Sorry about that. So you can see here that you got a small little uptrend here, so it got a bounce here, uptrend, pull back, hit this resistance. So let's talk about these resistance points. There's a touch there. It couldn't hold it. It rejected, came back through. So that's another touch here. Got to a new support area. It rejected that support area. Then you started a downtrend from here down. You got a new uptrend starting because that downtrend was broken, because it went above that line. The downtrend was broken at that point. So I guess technically I can do it like this. The new trend starts there, and now we're just sideways. So even within there, if I pull this box back a bit, we're just really sideways here. So from a support and resistance point, we got resistance at 33. We got a recent area, so I could take this part and this part. I can actually draw another support line there at this 28 and be right in line and say, so now we're really in a trading range from 28 to 32. So that's where we are on Magnite. All right. Siri, what's CHPI? I don't know that ticker. I know you said it's electric, like CHPT. I'm sorry, not CHPI. Let me see what this is. Because I'm not familiar with the ticker. That's not it. Or did I? Is that right? CHPT on stock. All right, let's see. Okay, Charge Point Holdings. Okay, 2365. All right, Charge Point Holdings. All right, let's get back. CHPT. Okay. All right. Siri, help me draw some trend lines here. So give me some peaks and valleys, and we're gonna draw our support and resistance, and then we'll draw some trend lines.
Yeah.
You're a little bit low, Siri. All right. Is it low for everybody else?
Yeah, Mike.
Okay. Go ahead, Siri.
Actually, at that time, I don't know the supporting points and anything else. But I bought it at $23.
Okay.
I buy it.
No, keep going. Mm-hmm. I'll just draw some as you talk. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it would be better at 20 to buy the stock.
Okay. Very good. So let's see what we see here. So we're in a big trend down from this 40 something. Yeah, and we're in a trend to here.
All right, Zaki, let go.
And then it broke.
You ready? Let's see you help.
Hey, somebody go on mute.
Come on, let's go brush your hair so it be straight. Come on, turn it off.
Hold on. Hey, somebody go on mute. I don't know who
turn
this
it
is.
off. Turn it off. Let's go.
Oh, that's Barry. That's
Come on, let's brush our teeth.
He dialed in, and he didn't realize he was on. He trying to get his boys together. That's funny. So we got a bounce here. Then we got another trend down. So it's a second touch. New trend up here. Another trend down. Got your third point. So when you look here, we're at a triple bottom. Well, actually quadruple bottom. So this 20 area, like you said, Siri, this is a powerful area where you got buyers coming in.
Okay.
All right. So now, and you can see off of this last bottom, look how strong that trend up was. That was wrong tool. This trend up from here, that was a strong piece until it broke the trend here, and now the new trend is actually coming back down, and it bounced. So you could say that it stopped here once, stopped there twice, stopped there 3 times, got a little congestion in here. So if you wanted to draw another horizontal line there, you can say this is the first area. This is not as strong as this. So this 23 is not as strong as that 20 level. But if it breaks back through this 20 level, I would definitely be a buyer, because you got, so again, look at the volume. You got lower volume here. You got higher volume, higher than that in this area. So if you just say, what is the volume doing? The volume has increased as you went up. In this area, it was a little bit lower, but you can see here, the volume has steadily started to increase as well, right? So if I were looking at this, I would say, if it can hold this, that'd be great. But I would so I would say maybe buy a little bit here if you want it, but definitely be buying more at this 20 level if you get the bounce based upon what it's done in the past. Right. So, but for our pieces here, these are the points that we're putting in. Right. So, all right. I don't know why the chart act up. Let's see. So now let's go back here. All right. Bring up. So I say we're going to use this this tool. Can you all see my screen? All right, so let's enter in these positions. All right, so Facebook. All right, Facebook. Brenda, you said you wanted to buy 7 shares. All right, so let me just tell you about this interface. Now, the interface really is really not that important. What I want to illustrate is, I'm trying to get this out of the way. Okay. What I really want to illustrate is really more around what you do to enter order. So you have different order types. So first you have a ticker. You have the number of shares you want to buy listed as quantity here. You have different order types that you can specify. So it's basically taking the quantity with the price that you want to pay for it, and it's just multiplying those together. That gives you the cost of the trade. You have a time in force. What time in force means, how long do you want this trade to be active before it cancels? All right, so the options are day. I'm sorry, I keep clicking on the computer, but it's actually on my phone. Day. Good to cancel means it's going to be, the order will be open for a couple months. EXT means that you can trade in the after hours or the pre-market hours. Pre-market is start at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to about 9:15, and then after hours start, I think, at like 4:05 until 8 o'clock in the evening. So those are after hour conditions. Much less volume there. Be careful if you trade in pre-market and after hours, because sometimes the prices there do not reflect what it would be when the market opens back up in the regular trading session. So that's pretty much it. So we're going to buy 7 shares for Brenda, and we'll just do market orders just to get these in. So we may have to come back and adjust these prices. But I'm gonna click on buy. I'm gonna go to 7. So I want the 7 shares. Okay. So 7 shares times 365, give me 2,400. And then up here where it says review, I click that. It gives me opportunity to look at the trade. Typically when I put on trades, what I try to do is look at this area. And I heard one trader say that he tries to read this out loud to ensure that what he thought he put in, he actually
Where
put in.
is it?
Barry,
you got it?
Barry, you're not on mute.
Oh,
Yeah. And so what I try to do is put the orders in, and when I read this out, so I'll say, hey, buy 7 shares of Facebook at $356.75 extended hours. So when I look at that, I say, you know what? I didn't want a limit order. I wanted a market order. So let me go back and change that. So here you can see the different market types. So let's just go through. All right, that's a market order, means I want to buy now. Limit order means that I want to buy, but I don't want to pay more than $356.75. A stop is if a stock is higher than the current price, you say I want to buy it at the higher price. If you're selling a stock and it's higher and you put your stop in lower, you're saying I want to protect my gains at that lower price on a sell order. Stop limit allows you to put in 2 prices. It's a little advanced. I won't get into that right now. So, and a trailing stop is another thing. We'll come back to those. But for the sake of this, what we're going to do is we're going to buy 7 shares All right. And we want to do it in the, we want it to be a good to cancel. And it's a market order, so it should fill immediately. All right. So now I got it right. Let's say market must have a time in force, a day time in force. Okay. So it's saying I can't put a good to cancel order on a market. On a market order. It has to be a day for time in force. So now I'll go back to review. All right. I read it out again. Buy 7 shares of Facebook at market to open a position. Then all I do is hit on paper trade because this is a paper trade account. Now you can see the order is working. Now, if I click on order, well, you can see here. So his order was sent, new order number was sent on account, blah, 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 to buy 7 shares of Facebook. All right. So that's my deal letting me know that's in there. All right. Now we're going to go to SPWR. Did that make sense? Any questions? Or SP. Oh, can't spell. I'm dyslexic. SP. Did it again. SPWR. All right. Sun Power. Okay, Curtis, you say you wanted 201 shares.
There we go.
So we're going to click on buy. All right. We're going to do a market order. All right. We're going to go to quantity. You said 201 shares. Go to done. It's going to be pretty much all of your $5,000. The cost of the trade. We want a day in force because it says we can only do market orders on day in force. And then we're going to go up to review. All right. Click review. Read it out, Curtis.
Buy 201, I guess, shares of SPWR at market.
Yep. Then we're going to hit paper trade. All right. Confirmation. Order was sent. We see that. And these are working orders, meaning that these orders will be working until they're filled or they're canceled. Okay. All right. So next one is NIO. How many shares was that? Somebody read it to me because I'm looking at my phone and doing it. So I'm not looking at the screen. How many shares for NIO for Kyle? How many did you say?
50.
50. Thank you. All right. 50. Market. Review. Paper trade. All right. I'm gonna just walk these a little faster so nobody's interested in looking at order entry. Google. We're buying 1 share. All right. Market order. All right. Buy. All right. Magnite. MGNI. All right. Buy. How many? 165. Market order. Review. Buy 165 share of Magnite to open. All right. Submit. CHPT. Okay. Buy. How many shares? Siri wants 50. All right. Market. Review. Buy 50 shares to open. Market. All right. Last one, NVIDIA. NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA. 20 shares. 20. All right. Market. Okay. All right. So as we go on, when these prices fill, we'll be able to get these orders, and once they get in, and we'll be able to adjust the dates. So we'll fill this out, and then we can start tracking and seeing our portfolio. And also, once these fill in here, we'll be able to go to the positions, and we'll be able to see here the real time. So to show change, mark is just basically the current price. We can see our P&L, which is profit and loss. You can see the trade price you entered, how much what your profit and loss is for the open position, what the current profit and loss is for the day, what the net liquidation is, and what your profit and loss is for the year. And so again, we have a account that has $100,899 in it, and we'll see how these work together. So we'll have a single portfolio, but we'll also be able to track these based upon your names on them in the trades that you make. Okay. So I think that's going to help us. And as we go forward, where I ran through some of this kind of fast in terms of this order entry, but going forward, we'll review these stocks. We can look at some of the regular overall market stuff, but then this is going to give us some focus. And now we're going to be able to apply our chart stuff. And then each of you that own these, you'll go through, we'll have some, kind of corporate discussion on what the chart is saying, what the trends, or it could just be say, hey, I want to buy some just because I like it and I don't really care about the fundamentals of the chart. I would maybe warn against that, but I want to see how can you substantiate, a position like that. So, because it could be regulatory stuff, there could be things in the market, there could be competitors, a host of other things that doesn't necessarily reflect itself in the chart immediately, but at some point that information is going to be baked into the chart unless it's not widely followed, and you may discover something that the overall market doesn't see, and that happens as well. So you may have some price inefficiencies that can occur. So now this was my wanting to do, because I thought maybe it'd be a bit more engaging. So far, do y'all think this approach is better, or do you like kind of what we were doing before?
For me, being a newcomer, this helps me out tremendously. So now I'm going to be watching solar stocks. It's forcing me to really take this seriously.
Okay. And I'll give you, thanks for that, Curtis. What you can do is you can also look at hold on 1 second. I got to sneeze. I want y'all to, okay, it was gone. I was going to have to hit the mute. I didn't want to sneeze in your ear. All right. But another, we talked a little bit about ETFs. And ETFs are exchange traded funds. Just think of them as mutual funds that you can buy during the day. It's probably the easiest way to say it. But this particular mutual fund is based upon solar stocks particularly. So Curtis, I would tell you is to add the TAN to a watch list of yours and just start following it, because and then just just Google it and find out what are the different stocks that are in the solar space, so you can kind of get an idea of who all of the main players are and how are they performing one toward another. And then this particular ETF trades them as a basket of stocks.
Okay.
Anybody else on the feedback of the change of how we're going to do this? Oh, okay, Barry, I did hear you. Barry. So we're picking a stock, and then we're entering an order for it. What stock would you like to have added to our portfolio? Let me see if he's still there. Did he drop? He dropped. Okay. I'll get back with Barry and see. All right. Did he come back? Let me see. Yep. Hey, Barry, can you hear me? Barry. Show you ride. Okay. All right. He's not back yet. Y'all supposed to laugh at that. That was supposed to be funny. Obviously, it wasn't. Yeah. So once I get Barry back, I'll find out what ticker that he wants there, and then we'll enter the trade in for whatever he chooses. All right. Any other feedback on this process, or what y'all think?
I mean, I like
watch
it.
some other people's stocks. I like it. I get to see some other people's stocks. I don't have no mind.
Oh, they might do Tesla.
All right. You got $5,000, Barry. How many of the 5,000 do you want to use on Tesla? And I don't know what's Tesla trading at these days. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. And let me look up Tesla here.
600. Let me just get 3, probably 2. Let me just get 2.
Just 2. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Into 687. All right. Cool. Let me put your order in. Buy 2 shares of Tesla at market. All right. Day. Okay. Paper trade. Cool. All right. Got it in. So we'll get these filled out, and then we can start, seeing what the performance of these things are. And we'll go from there.
Can I say something, Mike?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I noticed you have a column for stop loss. How did you calculate that amount?
It's I didn't. It just puts it in. So in this spreadsheet that I picked up is some guy on the internet that built it, and we can put so there's no formula on these. I think he was just putting numbers in. Now, great point. So if you wanted to put stop losses in here, so this is really more for live trading. Well, I won't say for live trading, really more for marking. If you wanted to put a stop loss in and specify it. So let's go back to the chart, and you had NVIDIA. Let's look at your NVIDIA to talk to that point. So when you put an order in, so we put your order in here in NVIDIA. Let's see what. All right. So it's a market order. We're talking 194. Okay, now let's say Monday NVIDIA fills, anywhere from 195, say, to 193, somewhere around in there, right? We'll say 196, 193, give it $3 range. So it's going to fill, you're going to get your shares. So let's assume that it fills at 195, right? So in trading, let's say that your stock goes up to this, back to this 208, right? From that 195. All right. So you say 195 to 208, and say you had a significant number of shares. So just for the purpose of this, say you're up $1,000 on your $5,000 entry. The question is, would you want to protect some of your downside at this 208 level? Or do you not want to put an order in, and if you get a reversal, you won't capture any of that paper profit? And so if the idea is you wanted to capture some of that paper profit, what you would do is you would go back over here. Now, this is only going to work if we own it, but I can walk through the example anyway. So if I go back to NVIDIA, I'll say, hey, I want to sell. I will say I'll put in let's say you want to sell everything, put in the 20 shares. I'll come back here. I say I want a stop. And so a stop is always going to be less than what the current price is. So again, let's say you bought at this 187 level. You're in now at 195, and you say, you know what? I want to make sure that I gain at least $191.50. So I'll put 191.5. And what that means is if this stock, so we're assuming your entry is at 178. If this stock got back down to 191.50, it'll automatically turn this order into a market order and sell you out. But there's one caveat where you're not guaranteed to make those gains between the 178 and the 191.50 is what you get is called a gap. So let's focus, and I'll show you what a gap looked like. Actually right here. So this was on July 20th, right? So you can see here. So a red bar means that it opened higher and it closed lower. That's what makes it red. So the close here is, let me pull this down. So the close was at 186.12. But look at the next day. The open is at 188.78. So that's a gap up, whereas you can have a gap down. So let me find a gap down. A gap down would be where you close at a higher point and you open lower than you close. Okay, so here's a gap down. You closed here at 196.62 and the next day it opened at what is that opening price? Let me see. Looks like it opened at 194.93. So in this case, if let's say, so the stock here is at 194.99. Let's say we got a gap down and the stock opened at 190. Your order would immediately fill, and let's say it filled at the 190 part, you would have lost that $1.50 because of the gap. But if that happens as the market is open and it's trading, you should get closer to your 190, 150 in order to protect your gains. So a stop is, and Kyle, he put a chart in here. Let me find this. So there's this YouTube guy. He teaches stocks and stuff, and Kyle had put in an order type thing. So here, and I'll screenshot this and put this in the chat. So it says different order types. So a market order means if I'm buying, if I like the price, I'll buy it now. If I'm selling, I like the price, I'll sell it now. That's what a market order means. A limit order means I want to buy at a lower price or I want to sell at a higher price. Stop loss order is a little bit advanced. So it says when the price is rising, if it keeps rising, I'll buy it before it's too late. And then on a sell, the price is falling. If it keeps falling, I'll sell it before it's too late. And then a stop limit order, I want to buy at a lower price, but if it never gets there, I'll buy before it's too late. And on the sell, I want to sell at a higher price, but if it never gets there, I'll buy before it's too late. So the bottom two is a little bit more, and just keep reading it. But the top two are pretty standard that you will use. And so again, going back to your thing here, Vanessa, if we wanted to put a stop loss in for NVIDIA, say you get filled at the 194, if we wanted to put a stop loss in, say at 191 to protect, so you don't actually go too negative on a position, because sometimes what happens is you can buy a stock and you're just wrong. Your entry is just wrong. So let's say you bought here at the 209 and because you thought it was going higher, but you see that you were wrong on your entry and it just went down. If you don't want to suffer this full break down to the 178 and even possibly lower, you could have put a stop loss in somewhere below your entry price in order to get you out to limit your downside risk.
That's what I was going to ask you there, Mike. Especially, I noticed a lot of our charts are like sideways at the moment. But like with this example, let's say feeling optimistic and say, cool, I'm going to jump in now because I think it's going to up. Is it appropriate thinking to do that? Maybe a stop loss at that 178, because I'm just doing a short-term trade. Let's say I'm going to do a stop loss at 178 because if it goes below that or a little bit below it, my thinking is like, okay, if I bought it now and it goes below, let's say that 175, because I'm willing to take a little bit of loss, would I do a stop loss there just to say bail out before I lose too much because I was just on a, kind of a haphazard guess?
Absolutely.
That makes sense?
Absolutely. No, you described it perfectly. Okay. Because if you're trading, you want to limit your downside risk. Right. If you're a long-term holder and you just say, hey, that just represents an opportunity to buy more shares at a lower price. But as a trader, that's not what you're in it for. So protecting your portfolio value is important. And yes, stop losses can do that for you. Because sometimes you may not have the opportunity to be looking at it as the market is open, all times throughout the day. So you can just put a stop loss in and forget about it. The only thing you have to worry about is gaps. Because you can get a gap and the gap will get you a worse price than what you thought the stop loss would be. But other than that, and they work. They work. Now, having the discipline around putting stop losses in all the time, if you're a trader, I struggle with that for many, many years. And it's nothing hard about putting an order in terms of the mechanics, but doing it for me was just, I don't know, it was a psychological barrier that took me a long time to get over, and I lost a lot of money by not doing it. Just so I would tell you, if you can get that in, put into your trading process and be consistent with it, it'll save you a lot of money.
Right. Okay.
Good point, Mike.
Yeah. Any other questions? So I can just run through a little bit of our normal stuff just in terms of what the market did this week, and then we'll wrap up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So S&Ps, you can see that we're in an uptrend from a couple of weeks ago. Really, this week we were sideways. And again, S&P can just be used as a barometer for the other three indices, being the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. Again, the Dow is the big industrial stocks, NASDAQ is tech related, and Russell is small capitalization stocks, meaning smaller companies, right? So if you look at the Russell actually did better this week, opened at 2,200, closed at 22.21, so up about 1%. Let's see, the NASDAQ, I can use the Qs as that. NASDAQ is down for the week. So if you got a tech stock, your tech stocks probably are down for the week. If you had an industrial stock, you're probably sideways to down for the week. And if you have a small company stock, you might be up for the week. And these are just top-down analysis going from smaller, basically saying what the overall indice does at a larger level, that the individual stocks fall into those sectors, and they're going to perform most often. They're going to perform the way that the way that the overall sector that is in, or the broader market that is contained within. So, all right. So I like this. I think that this is going to help us to have some more focused dialogue. It's also going to tie us to the actual putting in of the stocks. We can look at our performance here on a weekly basis. We can see what they're doing. We'll also have the ability to sell certain stuff that we want to sell, and we can put in our closing trades. We can track them by your names here, put the entries in for your entries, and we can see what your performance is. And I think this is going to give us some real world type of analysis and putting kind of what we learn from a instructional perspective into practice using real symbols, fictitious dollars, and we'll see how it goes from there. So I hope this switch kind of helps take our learning to the next level, and we'll see from there.
Quick comment, Mike. This was very helpful from a practical. Also, though, like my brain, I have to hear things over and over again, and I do like the overall stuff that you were doing before. But just as an FYI, there's a guy I listened to, Jazz Wealth Managers. His show is like the closing beat on YouTube. He does it Monday through Thursday after market closes to do that. About 20 minutes of the summary of what's going on, watch list, and all that good stuff. That's been helpful for me to get the info and to start getting some of the terminology in my head. I'd be interested if you guys would listen to it this week and give me, your thoughts on it and what you kind of think, if it's useful, good, bad, whatever. So,
okay, give me that name again, Brent.
It's Jazz Wealth Managers, but the show is called Closing Beat, and he does it Monday through Thursday, right after market close, and it's about a 20-minute show he does. And he does teachings and stuff like that and walks things through. But I'd be interested in you guys' feedback.
Is it jazz like that? Like the music jazz?
Yes, Jazz.
Okay, got it. All right.
You got the link? You got the link to that?
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Be interested to see what you guys think.
Mm-hmm.
I got to hear it kind of like every day in order to try to get my brains twist it into the right thinking for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one.
All right, I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And any other tidbits and things that you all see that you think it would be beneficial to the group, let me know, and definitely we share the information. And two, what I want at some point, I'm trying to get you all to do it more. I want to stop talking so much, and I want you all to start talking more. And the reason is, as you can go, because I can tell you personally, I've learned a lot by walking through these things, trying to explain these concepts, and you all have made me learn, stuff that I didn't know prior to starting this. And so I know when you explain something to others, it helps to solidify what you know, and you can have some discovery within that process as well. So I'm going to be leaning more on you all to, to teach this. And one thing I would encourage you to do is find somebody that don't know as much as you know in this, but have a desire that you have a relationship with, and just start explaining these principles to them and kind of start mentoring them in this respect. And I tell you, it's very helpful, because again, as you teach it, it's going to help to solidify what you know and cement it for you. So mentor somebody, and I could have benefited earlier in my trading career with getting a mentor and kind of learning from them, because there's some stuff that in trading can be a lonely endeavor when you don't have anybody to talk this stuff over with. So having someone that you can talk with it, we kind of have it because we have this group, but let's get more interactive, and nothing is off limits, and bring ideas, suggestions, comments, and just kind of I'll say this and I'll close out. I started this because I wanted for people to learn about this, because I know that this is another opportunity. So we go to school, we go through our grade school, secondary school, go to college, whatever, if not, but we amass these skills in terms of whatever our profession is, right? But we don't get the training in terms of how you deal with money. We learn how to make money, but we don't learn how to manage money. So one of my deals was I wanted to kind of teach this stuff to give people another opportunity to learn that once they made their money in their particular careers and industries that they work in, now what should they do with it? And is it, so that was really part of the ethos of why I started doing this. And I've been doing, and learning about this stuff for a long time. And I just wanted to share that, because I think that, we could benefit from having this, and it's across, race, religion, creeds, all of that. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter where you from, where you've come from, you got to figure this money thing out. Because if not, it'll figure you out. And, you can, and there's things that you can do, and there's stuff that's out there that is just not being taught. So, we learn about, quadratic equation, and, the boiling point of water, and all, some of this stuff in school that doesn't have real world applicability, maybe particularly in your everyday walk of life. But money, it affects, what you do on a day-to-day basis, how you manage your money with your family, how you take care of your bills, all of that, how you grow your investment, how you manage your taxes. It just permeates, so many different areas of our lives. So I just wanted us to have a understanding and how to deal with, investments and stocks and other things. And where we're particularly, we're primarily focused on stock talk. I mean, but we can talk about all kinds of other things that are, money matters. So I just wanted to use this group, for that. So that was like the motivation for it. And lastly, I would say at some point when we use these techniques and we have these portfolios, maybe we can get to a point where we all get up to a certain, base level and understanding that we may want to start like an investment club and start pooling, money every month, put in it and manage it, and then actually have some dollars put to it. And it's not just, fake money, it's real money. So think about that. That's kind of where I want to go initially. Further plan is really then pooling resources to do, investing, not just in stock, but maybe other asset classes, different individual businesses and stuff like that, to use the unity of the group and the collective buying power of the funds that we have to be able to invest. Now, there's risk and challenges, with all of that. You can lose money. So I would tell anybody, do not put any more money. If we ever get to that point, do not put more money than you're willing to lose, that you're comfortable with, that you and your spouse have agreed on, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But that's kind of where I would like to go ultimately. So again, that's just my idea. You all can tell me if y'all agree with that. If you just want to stay at the education level, not commingle funds, that's fine too. So, but that's kind of where I'm trying to go. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my 2 cents. Appreciate what you said there. I like the group thing because, and then just to be transparent, my husband passed 2 years ago, and with liquidating, he had a lot of medical, all that other good stuff, and I'm just finding out that from a retirement standpoint, I'm sucking. And so trying to figure out how to increase that, because you're not getting anything from the banks and all the good stuff, and how to use insurance money to try to make it so I don't have to work until I'm 110. And so this group, I'm hoping, is good because I've been in my own head for the last year or so listening to stuff. And so it would be good to hear everybody's thought and thinking, because your word mentor is a little bit, intimidating. But if I can hear your thinking and even express something, even though, so that you can say that, oh, that sucks or that's wrong because you're just doing emotional stuff. It would be good for me to hear feedback or to hear everybody else's thinking, so I can kind of twist my thoughts into a little bit better framework, if that kind of makes sense. And so that's what I'm hoping from the group standpoint, that we can kind of get to that honesty level where, okay, that's a sucky trade and here's why or why not, right? Or I'm looking at gold and silver, now's not the time because, okay, that train left last year and now it's on a downtrend. So it'll be good even to get that feedback on good and bad in a neutral kind of way, and not have to do this in my own head.
There you go.
I can, if you all got 10 minutes, I can run through kind of a larger dynamic of like this financial piece. If you want to hear it, if you need to drop, that's fine as well. I recorded this so you all can play it back, but it kind of leads into some of what you're talking about there, Brenda. So if everybody's okay with it, give me 10 minutes to run through this, and it kind of will give a broader picture to kind of the whole financial deal. Is that fair?
I'm in.
Okay. All right. So is a presentation I put together some time ago, basically financial education, take control of your financial future. Let's talk about money, ties, emergency funds, insurance, saving, retirement, investing, estate planning. I'm a firm believer, bring your ties to God. He will bless the remainder. It's been the foundation of my success. All right. Emergency fund. Do you have enough money saved up to pay your bills for 3 to 6 months without getting a paycheck? All right. Do you have disability insurance and life insurance? Brenda just kind of spoke to this. Sorry for your loss there, Brenda. But we have a live example of what will happen to your family when you pass away, right? And do you leave your family in a better position with that missed income or not? And so it's not being critical, it's just being factual. It happens. And how do your family members, go on without you? Now, a lot of times we focus a lot on life insurance, but we don't think about disability insurance. It says you're more likely to get injured, become ill, or miss time from work at your point of career. More often, it's a higher probability of that happening versus, you dying. Dying is a, one-time thing, right? Whereas you can get disabled, you can get injured, and I know we have varying degrees of people in their ages on this call. So some of us are older than others. And so the older you get, disability and sickness, that stuff happens. If your employer offers disability insurance, sign up for it. It's typically pennies on the dollar. I think we have $100,000, $200,000 policy for us. And I think it costs me like anywhere between 10 and, $30 a month. It's nominal. Because if I get, if something happens to me, I have a personal deal. But, I'm sorry, I'm mixing two things. On the disability piece, if I become disabled, we have a 50% deal where it pays 50% after 6 months of disability. And then I added an extra 10%. And I think it's like, I don't know, $20 a month or whatever it is for an additional 10%, right? So I can get 60% of my paycheck going on long-term disability. That means anything 6 months or longer, right? And so, that will help offset being able to run my household, even though I'm not able to work, right? So if you're...
And just to give it practical there, yeah, my husband was in the hospital for about a month and his disability kicked in, and that's invaluable since I was staying overnight with him and working hit or miss. So absolutely, that disability kicking in helped to offset that loss of income for that month that he was in there. Word to the wise, if somebody gets in that hospital, make sure you're cashing those checks and you're not holding on to them while you're in there, because once he passes away, then they ain't trying to pay off the money. But that's on a practical standpoint.
No, that's a good note. Never thought about that. So make sure you do it, because if unfortunately, if they do pass away, you can't get that money back. So yeah. Thanks for that, Brendan. Appreciate it. Savings is a fundamental tool to a healthy financial plan. Do you have a savings account? How much are you saving per pay period? Is savings as important to you as spending? This last piece has everything to do with mindset. And mindset and money, mindset about money is extremely important, because most of us, we've made enough money to do what we need to do. But the second thing is, have we used the money in a way that made our lives better, or have we used the money that has actually caused us more stress and pain in our lives? So sometimes it's not the amount of money that you come in, it's how you're allocating the money. And the allocation of the money has to do with mindset, and savings is a important piece to that. One guy, he says, it was a quote, I think his name is Ron Blue. He says, financial uncertainty is certain, meaning that it's going to rain. Do you have an umbrella? Right? It's not a matter of, if it's going to rain. It's a matter of when it's going to rain. So if you have a savings and you have, financial things put in place, when something unexpected comes up, you have some buckets of money that you've set aside in the event to take care of things where it doesn't affect your monthly overall budget. Okay. Retirement. Do you have a retirement account? Does your employer offer a 401k, a pension, or profit sharing? Do you have an IRA? If you're self-employed, do you have a self-employment plan or a KEO plan? These are specific to self-employed people that own their own business, or 1099 employees. Investments. Do you own a house, rental property, stocks, bonds, mutual funds? So, we've been in this space talking a lot about it, stocks specifically, but there are definitely different other types of asset classes that you can get involved in. Do you own a business? That's another type of investment, is a business. And when you think about this, all of this stuff is kind of like a pyramid. You start at the bottom, you tithes, then you do emergency funds. From there, then you do insurance, then you do savings, you do retirement, investments, and then estate planning. And the reason why you build from the bottom up is, if, let's say, for instance, I do not have an emergency fund, but I do have some investments, right? Let's say my water heater goes out. I don't have any emergency funds, but I do have a couple shares of Google, right? So I might have to go sell my Google stock that's running like a bandit, making me, good percentage, and take that out to replace a water heater because I don't have emergency fund. Whereas if I had emergency fund, I can just go to emergency fund, pay for that water heater, and still keep my Google stock, right? It's just a trivial example. So you want to be able to use the stuff in the bottom, ties, you don't get that back per se. But to me, it's important, because when you do that, God can do more with the 90% than you can with the 100%. And I'm a testament to that. But in terms of the emergency fund, when you have that in place, you can absorb incidentals and things that happen to you, your house, your cars, your, medical or whatever. You can absorb a lot of stuff from an emergency fund, such that you don't have to suffer by taking from your retirement, taking from your savings, taking from your investments. Okay. So
Mike, real quick back on that.
Yes,
for the emergency funds, I don't necessarily want to just stick it under my mattress. I want my money to work for me. So you may want to put it somewhere where it's working for you, but you also have access to it. That's just my input.
Oh, absolutely. So in that, you can. It's right now we're in a negative interest rate environment. They're paying you. You might not even get 1% on a savings account these days, but you may look at some other things to put stuff into. We can talk about some things of where you can put money in and gain a little bit better percentage. I have a few ideas that we can talk about. But the main thing with emergency funds, I wouldn't worry too much about how much interest you can gain on that emergency fund. So again, let's say let's just make the example tangible. Let's say it takes you $3,000 to run your household, right? So if you say, hey, 3 to 6 months, if I can save $9,000, if something happens to me, I lose my job, I know I have 3 months worth of savings that I can pay everything and don't have to stress out while I'm looking for a job, and hopefully I can find one within 3 months, right? That's an example. But the thing is, I wouldn't want to put an emergency fund in something where it's going to take me a bunch of hoops to jump through, and that may have some penalty on fees. So for me, just have an emergency fund in a savings account where I have a debit card access to that I can get immediately. That's what I would choose to do, versus if I put it in something where it's going to take me a few days to get my hands on, depending upon whatever the emergency is, that may be a little bit more problematic. But what we can talk about there, though, Curtis, is in terms of just savings that's separate from your emergency funds, and I suggest that they are. We can definitely get more yield on your savings.
Okay, makes sense, man.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
Not a question, but what's your thought on that? So, for example, be it Bank of America, though I'm starting to not like that bank. They're directly tied to Merrill Edge, right? A trading account.
Yeah.
And so, let's say you get up to $6,000, okay, emergency fund, and you want to maybe throw in $1,000 into Merrill Edge, because you can easily move your money from DOA to Merrill Edge trading account and back again and get a higher percentage in your trade than you can getting a 0.001 or 0.04, whatever it is, if I'm just leaving my $6,000 in the.
So here's the thing, and I would try it in a non-emergency exercise to say, hey, let me put it over there. I don't need it now, but let me put it over there and let me see if I can get it back. And how long does that process take? So just try it out. And if it works for you and you can get it out in, within a day or so and get your hands on it, then that could be a good thing to do. But I would try it out, because again, you don't want to have an emergency situation and you walk through that process and they give you a hiccup. Whereas if you just had it sitting in the bank account and you just go withdraw it, then, you're taking care of whatever that emergency is pretty immediately. So try it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Try it out. Make sure it works for you. And if it does, then, I can go with that.
Yeah. And the one thing I'm doing as far as discipline in my mind is I pool profits quite often. And so it's making me raise my floor. So for example, if I had started at 5 and that's what I was telling you before, I do small percentages just because it mentally makes me raise my floor. So if I put in a $5,000 and I just get a small little bump, I'll pull out half of that. And now all of a sudden, let's say my my floor is now 550, right?
Yes.
And then I'll pull out another bump. Now my floor is 6K, and that kind of helps me not lose, like you're saying, any vital money, because I put these mental floors in and I keep raising my floor up, but I'm getting a little bit higher interest than I would if I just let it sit at 0.04%. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so you're just saying, hey, risk a little bit, take that yield that you get, put it back into your savings, and just rinse and repeat. Yep.
Exactly. And small little bite-sized chunks. And that way I'm not risking any, like you said, critical emergency money, but I'm getting much better than a 0.04.
Absolutely. I and maybe one day, Bryn, if you can anonymize some of it and just kind of walk people through practically with it, maybe showing your screen or something, that would be good, because that may help some other people. And I would say that overall, any techniques that you come across that has worked for you, and it doesn't have to be related, so we're talking about money market funds and investment accounts. It doesn't have to be just related to stocks, because again, we're trying to cover the gamut of this whole money pyramid, if you will. So absolutely. Any others? All right. So again, if you got questions anywhere in this pyramid, or if things that are beyond this pyramid, no, cousin Barry, he's on the line. He is into real estate. He can do a real estate class. I think Vanessa at one point, I know she was interested in learning some real estate stuff. And so, he has some wealth of knowledge there that he can share. I know we have someone else on the line that they're starting a business in a particular area. They may want to share kind of what they're doing. And we all come from a diverse background of education, experience, skills. If you want to share with people, just to let them know what it is that you're doing, something that you found, something that you think would benefit the group, definitely share that. So we don't have to be limited just to the stock stuff. And if we need to set another time to, have the non-stock talk, we can do that.
Hey, Mike, good presentation.
Yes, sir.
I'm definitely interested in the investment club.
Okay.
I'm with the kids right now. You can hear. So.
Yeah. Hold on, my audio just went crazy. 1 second. All right. Can you say it again, Barry? I'm sorry. My audio was acting up. Hold on a second. My audio tripped out.
Hello?
Okay, no, go ahead. That was me. That was my audio that was acting up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm with the kids right now, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in investment club, and that was a great presentation about money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Barry. And if would you be willing to talk about some of the real estate stuff, maybe on a call or two, for people that are interested going forward?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Barry's my cousin. So he has, told me about some of the real estate things that he is in. So I think he definitely has a lot of information that he can share for those that are interested in. And if it's just something that you want to increase your learning in, or if you want to do a deep dive, I think he can address both. So thanks, Barry. And any other, I know so you all can hit me up if you don't want to say out loud, on the call. But if there's something that you want to bring to the group, to let them know about a particular area that you have some expertise in, and it may be beneficial that others may want to learn about, yeah, definitely bring that up, and we can have a session on it, and we can talk about it. So
birds of a feather flock together. Absolutely.
So thanks, everybody. I know we went kind of long today, but hopefully it was helpful. And we'll keep going forward. I'm excited about us tracking these portfolios and these stocks, and so we'll see where we are 6 months from now to see if this is really helped us to grow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all for your time.